Hello everyone, Jack again, TeleMade for Fly Fish. First things first, a huge thank you to everyone that's ordered the rods. They are selling like hotcakes, and truth be told, I did have some sleepless nights whether people was actually going to buy into what I'm trying to achieve. But luckily, it's all going to plan. I wasn't worried about the rods because I already know just how good these rods are. I've been casting all my life, and let me tell you, this is as efficient as it gets. But yeah, on the back of that, I've had a lot of emails, and I had an email this morning mentioning the casting, because in the video that I posted the other day, there was a lot of long casts. I was making a few 100-foot casts just to show what the rod's capable of. I've had an email asking for a video on a bit of advice on how I do it and the technique. So today, that's exactly what we're going to do. First things first, you need a rod and you need a line that work very, very efficiently together to make this much easier. There's other videos where guys are casting with huge amounts of movement to get 100 foot to go out, but you've got to appreciate in fly fishing, a lot of guys might be a bit older or they've got health or joint problems, so that's not an option. A lot of thought goes into the design of my rods and lines, and ease of fishing is up there on one of the #1 rules. It has to be easier. There's already a lot of outfits available that are not that efficient, and well, we've had enough of that, haven't we? Technology's come that far now that we can develop some incredible fly fishing gear, but you need to put a little bit of thought into it. But yeah, presentation rod, 9.5 foot 6 weight. I'm using this because it's a relatively light outfit, and it's showing that I'm just not relying on weight and a heavy setup and brute force. Technique and a bit of practice will easily get you casting 100 foot. What you're trying to do is get the perfect load on the rod. If you underload a rod, you'll not get the power out of it. If you overload a rod, it will buckle and become less efficient. I know people think the more power you put in, the more efficient the cast, but that is definitely not true. Today, using the presentation line, as you can see there, is a colour change from white to grey. And what the end of the white is the back of the head length. And that shows the user, the caster, the sweet spot for picking up and releasing the forward cast. Also, if you've got the white section at the tip of the rod, every cast is the same. The same length and weight of line you're picking up and carrying is the same length. So it's very, very easy, very manageable. It's 35 foot head length, so you can just pick up, roll it out behind you, make the cast. This is as simple as I can get it, let me tell you. But yeah, another thing, when practicing casting, practice on water. And that is because picking up from the water's surface, you're releasing tension with the line off the surface, but what that does, that applies more load on the rod. So you're basically extracting more power out of it. But if you practice on grass or in a car park or whatever, you're losing that resistance. So you'll practice, get to your favourite river, still water, lake, wherever it is you're fishing. You lay the line out, and on that first pickup, it'll feel a lot different than what you're used to. And that is because you're adding the surface tension. But from a casting point of view, helps. That puts more load into the rod, bends it further down, gets you more power. But yeah, have the colour change, tip of the rod, everything is that much more efficient. The whole casting formula stays the same. And all you want to do is practice the pickup into the back cast, let it roll out. If it doesn't roll out behind you, and straighten, it won't straighten out in front of you. It'll just be very inefficient, and you'll just be casting out a pile of spaghetti, basically. But yeah, just practice. Low rod tip, you've got to keep tension, lift to your back cast, let it roll out into your front cast. But the key to the lift is back, stop. Let it roll out, straighten, apply power, stop. But also stop with a high rod tip. If you apply power smoothly to a sudden stop, high rod tip, that'll create a tighter loop. The top and lower leg of the fly line are closer together. And that means on the end of that, it'll have a nice point cutting into the air, that much more efficient and that much smoother. And that in itself helps. But also the presentation line has no memory and a very low diameter running line, so you've got less mass to drag through the rings, out the tip, and also no coils. So you're not sapping energy out the cast, pulling coils out the cast. But yeah, just practice, lift, stop, forward cast, stop. And it's a power. It's a product of technique and not brute force. What we'll do is pull the line off. There's a welded loop on the end of the 100-foot presentation line. Just get the line out of the leaves. Yeah, it's a 100-foot line. Before you start going for distance, just practice a nice lift and a nice delivery. If you've not got the lift into the back cast and then smooth power delivery to a stop, any casting mistakes will just, well, they'll be highlighted as soon as you start applying a little bit more power. But yeah, roll cast pickup, one back cast, and let it fly. But from my point of view, the caster, I'm not going to put too much effort and energy into it. If it takes a lot of work, something's not efficient, something's not working together. But yeah, truth be told, I've underestimated how much people like to cast a long way. One back cast. Don't know if you can tell on camera, but it feels like there's a storm rolling in. But we'll make one more cast. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just pick up and let it go. And there's your 100-foot. I know a lot of people struggle with casting a long way, but 95% of the time, the outfit's inefficient. Either the rod is too stiff, or the line doesn't have the correct taper for staying stable and carrying a long way. But yeah, getting a bit windy. We'll make one more cast before we go. One back cast, let it go. Everything's got to be under control. The outfit's got to work with you, not against you. The line's got to stay stable and carry well. And then with a bit of practice, you'll soon be casting 100-foot. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the orders, thanks for the emails. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.